Great, thank you. Let me share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
You are good.
Okay, good. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about how you can use Claude Cowork as an AI teammate. We're going to look at a few use cases and examples for Claude Cowork. So, how can Claude Cowork help your business? So, you can do things like create a weekly competitive briefing, which I'm going to go over how to do that today. You can automate your content creation and social postings. You can analyze your search engine optimization or generative engine optimization progress. So, generative engine optimization would be optimizing for the AI engines. You can quickly make websites, auto respond to emails, set up reminders, all kinds of things. And Claude Cowork can be connected to all kinds of tools that you use all the time, such as your Google Drive, Slack, Adobe, Zoom, Twilio, Notion, etc. So this is an example of some of the connectors that you can add to Claude. So I encourage you to look at these and get ideas of how you can connect Claude. What is the difference between Claude and Claude Cowork? So Claude itself is good for brainstorming. It's a conversational AI similar to ChatGPT, but Claude Cowork is an agentic tool that can execute tasks directly on local files. And the good thing about Claude Cowork, if you're not that technical, is it will ask you for permission before doing anything, so you don't have to worry you'll mess anything up. So to use Claude Cowork, you have to get a Claude account. The minimum account is $20 a month, and you have to get the desktop version. If you use it a ton, you might have to upgrade to the $100 account, but I use it a lot, and so far I'm only paying $20 a month. And then you go to the Cowork tab. So if you use ChatGPT a lot and you're just starting Claude, you can actually import all of your ChatGPT information as context into Claude. So you would just go into the backend to capabilities and you would select start import, and then you would get a prompt that you could paste into ChatGPT, and it will then download all your info that you can paste back into Claude. So I'm going to give you a simple example of how to use Claude Cowork. So I always create a ton of screenshots and I'll be busy and they have a weird name and I always think, oh, I'm going to organize those later. And then I never do. So I have a really, really messy desktop. So the first thing I did in Claude Cowork was use this prompt, and you can take a screenshot or I can send you these later. And what it does is it actually can read all of the images on my desktop, name them, and suggest folders for those images. You could also do the same thing for receipts, for example. So Claude will then show me a list of all of my screenshots and tell me what they show, like circular headshot of a man, two young people, boy with flowers. I have all these random screenshots, gives them a suggested name and a suggested folder. It's telling me a proposed folder structure for all 179 screenshots. And then it gives a preview plan. And so what's terrific is it says ready to proceed, say yes, and then it will start the work. So I don't have to worry. It won't, it'll do anything I don't want. So I say yes, and then it tells me what's done. So it put the screenshots in folders, and then here is the list of the actual folders on my desktop that it created. So the second thing I'm going to show you is how to create a weekly briefing using Claude Cowork. So um, for our AI training classes, we have this fake life coach persona. Her name is Nita No More. And so I created a weekly briefing for this fake life coach. And so first I had to create folders on my desktop about me, outputs, and templates. I connected the folder to Cowork. And then I have Claude Cowork interview me. So I pasted this prompt into Claude Cowork, and it asked me all about my business, my audience, how I work, what good output looks like for me. So it interviews me, and I put in all the info for my business. In this case, it was a fake business, so I put in fake info, but you can put in your real info. So here are the questions. How would you describe yourself and what you do professionally? Tell me about your business. What are the main tasks you'll be asking me to help you with most often, etc. And then it creates this about/me.md file, which it will use to drive the information it gathers for your weekly briefing. And you can always update this later if something changes in your business. So the skill creator prompt, then you paste this in, and this will tell Claude to create the weekly briefing. And so what it does is it will look at your competitors. So you're going to have to add a list of your competitors. And then it's going to research industry trends for your business and give you action items for the next week. So it's sort of like having a junior employee. So you can add any inputs or notes into the files. And then all you have to do is go to Claude Cowork and type run weekly briefing. You can also schedule it using slash schedule, every Monday or something like that, and it will run automatically. Okay, so I will show you this video. Hold on, I have to, okay. So this video is just a speeded up version of showing how I'm doing this in Claude Cowork. So I type run weekly brief, I press enter, and then it's going through all the competitors. It's reading all their websites. It's seeing what they're doing. So it's looking at a bunch of life coach websites. And just note, this video is speeded up and edited. This actually took a bit longer than this. So you have to give it a little time. And then on the right, it comes up with a weekly brief, a watch of all the competitors, market signals, and then the action items for next week. So for example, in the action items, it says, look at Katie Seaver's a random life coach I Googled. So look at Katie Seaver's email series models. She is running a structured 8-week content campaign that doubles as a waitlist builder. So somehow Claude figured that out. So it's good to know about your competitors. And then it's saying, consider whether Nita No More Coaching has a course or framework that can anchor a similar campaign. And then it says another life coach, Words of the Princess, is running a free biweekly webinar as a lead generator. And then it's talking about the industry in general, that a lot of people are burnt out and there's an entry-level job crisis. So those are good possible blog topics that will get a lot of attention. I have a client that I do SEO and GEO work for. So this is a more custom briefing, and this looks at all his competitors and looks at keywords that his competitors and his site is doing well for. And I also, for this briefing, I pull in actual Google Search Console data. So it will analyze that data for me and give me a report based on that data. So for example, this week it found out that a lot of people are searching on dog hotels, and we have not optimized that keyword. So it's recommending we optimize that keyword. So really, really super useful. Note, it's telling me that we don't have any new reviews, and it's saying we need to create a review sequence. And so it's reminding me because we did not do that last week. So it tells me fix this title tag, add dog language, dog hotel language, start the review as flow. So it says if automation is still weeks away, it's basically telling us to do it manually. Send a manual text to customers within 24 hours of pickup at the dog kennel. On the left, those CSV files are from Google Search Console. I've been adding those manually to a folder that Claude Cowork reads, but the next step would be automating that. So there's a connector that would automate those files being gathered into the weekly briefing. So I only have about 10 minutes here, but I teach with my partner a regular series of AI classes. So the next class will be more extensive, an hour long on creating a weekly briefing and also doing social postings using Claude and giving you guys a promo code. So the tickets would be $15 if you use Master Networks. And if you want the prompts that I used in this presentation, just email me and I can send them to you, or all my info's available using the QR code or on this slide. So thank you so much. And I'd love to hear any questions or comments, or email me or schedule a call. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shara. I think we may have time for a couple of questions. Would be amazing, and then I think we'll have time for maybe a bond also, which is great. All righty, Danny, please, and then AB.
Thank you, Liz. Awesome presentation, Shara.
Thank you.
I was wondering if you've tried doing Claude Cowork and Notebook LM combined
I have not done
for
that yet.
those briefings. Okay, so here's an idea. I
Uh-huh.
tried something like this for tech briefings since I'm a nerd as well.
Right.
I like getting all the cybersecurity news and all that stuff, but I
Uh-huh.
never have the patience to just read pages and pages and pages. And I put
Uh-huh.
it into Notebook LM and said, hey, generate a podcast style audio talking about this news. And it
Oh,
did it. And I was
oh,
able to
that's so
listen to
cool.
everything. It was amazing.
That is amazing. That's great. We should talk more.
Danny's located in Romania, just so you know, Shara.
Oh, great. Well, there's Zoom, or I'll go to
Yeah, not
Romania.
that that matters nowadays.
I travel a lot.
Shara's a world traveler. That's why I mentioned that.
I have
Awesome.
a party in Stockholm in July, so maybe I can stop by.
Nice.
My quick question is this. So I know you said, the Claude Cowork, the paid version, $20. Do you have to do a separate paid version for the Cowork and the regular Claude?
No, it's included.
That's great. Thanks.
Hmm.
Great presentation, by the way. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Rick, please.
Thank you, Lizzie. Shara, great presentation. Thank you. Amazing. I wish you would have went the whole hour. We should have planned this better. We could have just let you talk all day. I wanted to ask a Claude question. So very often when I have a chat, if I go away from it for a while, when I come back to it to add something, it's like you got to make a new chat. Is this something that's just kind of inherent in AI, or is there something in Claude that is going to be updated at some point so you can continue a chat easily without that like sticking point?
Well, you can create projects and categorize within projects. So that's a better way to organize.
Okay.
And I have a bunch of different clients, so that's what I do, that in Claude and ChatGPT, that I just start categorizing everything, and that does really help.
All right. So this is a rookie mistake. Just kind of starting too many new chats and not organizing them.
But also it's important to think about creating skills for the tasks or info that you use often, and then Claude just kind of uses that as its brain.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yuval, did you have your hand up, or you did it and then you didn't? Okay. Anyone else have any questions? I just have to say I've known Shara literally. I was telling the people in the pre-show that since we were actually born, when I was born 3 months before her, my mother took me to the hospital to meet her the day she was born. So we've known each other for many decades, and she has just always been a prolific learner and teacher and writer and traveled all over the world teaching. And so I'm really grateful, Shara, to have you here with us today. Thank you, everybody, for being open to having an outside speaker come in and present in the best chapter ever. So thank you so much. And please reach out to Shara.
Andy's got his hand up, Lizzie.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, before we move on, please, of course, Mr. Akers.
Thank you. Just a quick question, Shara. Thanks for your presentation. The inevitable question is, how do you feel about the Claude versus ChatGPT competition or selection?
Well, I think Claude, if I had to use one AI tool, I would pick Claude because it has the functionality of ChatGPT, but then Cowork is so useful. And then I also can use Claude Code for coding projects. And that seems to be the best tool now that engineers are choosing to use. I mean, there is Codex and ChatGPT, and there are other tools. But for me as a tech person, I feel like I need to focus on Claude and coding in Claude and get to know that better. And it's another topic, but I've coded a bunch of apps by myself, both using Cursor and Claude Code. And in my past, I've managed engineers, but I could never actually build everything myself. And now with these tools, I can. So it's exciting.
Thank you.
It's all so exciting. Awesome. Thank you so much, Shara.
Shara, could you put your information in the chat for us, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes,
All right.
you guys would be a great connection for sure. I was telling Shara about you, Nancy. Alrighty, Rick, what do you think maybe we do like a bond session since we have a little time? Unless, Jen, there's something else you would like us to do. I think that would be great since we have some time.